Good day everyone, my name is Richie Sean Loy and I am an AB Psychology student who will be discussing about aptitude testing.
Aptitude tests, much like any other testing tool, has its importance in various fields. And syempre naman po, hindi naman po nagsusolo ang aptitude tests. We have different other testing tools such as yung mga personality tests, diagnostic tests, achievement tests. I'm pretty sure some of you are well aware with the latter, achievement tests. So the prime difference between achievement tests and aptitude tests is that sa achievement tests, it's usually designed in order to measure accomplishment or in order to measure existing knowledge. Whereas aptitude tests tend to focus more on informal learning or life experiences, unlike yung achievement tests which focus more on the learning that has already occurred as a result of relatively structured input. But syempre for today, since our topic will be about aptitude testing, yung magiging focus syempre natin will be about aptitude tests, what it is, what is its importance, and yung uses niya. So according to Bingham and Freeman, aptitude tests are tests that will predict success to some degree. So it helps us to measure the probability of success in an activity. Furthermore, aptitude tests are also referred to as prognostic tests. Some aptitude tests have also been used to measure readiness to entering a particular preschool program, entering elementary school, successfully complete college level work, and etc. Yun po yung isang use niya. It's not limited to measuring or determining yung success ng test taker sa activity. It also allows for the examiner to see if the test taker is ready for whatever activity he or she is going to take. Ang isang example po niyan ay sa educational setting. If we were to apply aptitude tests here, sabihin natin mag-enter ang isang estudyante sa elementary school. So, with the use of aptitude tests, malalaman po natin if may concerns with learning ang child. Kasi that's not a far-fetched case. In some instances, may mga ganun po na late na nalalaman ng mga teachers or parents na may learning disabilities pala ang child nila. So, in order to combat this, para mas maagang malaman nila, gumagamit po ang ibang mga schools ng aptitude tests in order to test the readiness of yung students who are going to enter the said school. Aptitude test is not just a written test. So, hindi po siya limitado sa pen and paper na format. So, aptitude tests can also be reading, writing, and speaking abilities. So, the following can also be involved in aptitude tests. Take for example, for various jobs and students, scholastic tests for fair judgment of the position or admission. Syempre, students or employee with superior aptitude are preferred for the positions. That's why when it comes to admissions, sabihin natin, a company is looking for someone to fill up a position in their company, in their organizational chart. They would use itong mga selection tests such as in aptitude para malaman nila if may kakayahan ang prospects nila, ang mga candidates nila na magampanan yung responsibility dun sa job na a-applyan nila. But yun po, yung main point dito is that hindi lang po siya limitado sa pen and paper. Aptitude tests, once again, can make use of writing, speaking abilities, and the like. And now we go on with the uses of aptitude test. Ito na nga po guys yung nasabi ko kanina, yung with regards sa admissions. So aptitude tests can be used in admitting candidates for various types of professional training such as engineering, medicine. Yung gaya ng isang example kanina is that, again, if a company or school rather is looking for candidates to fill a certain position sa organizational chart nila, syempre gagamit talaga sila ng mga selection tools in order to determine if, once again, if the candidates have what it takes or if they are ready, if they have the quality to fulfill yung mga tasks and responsibilities nila. So another use of aptitude tests is with regards to guidance. So aptitude tests can be used for the purpose of guidance in selecting subjects for studying in educational institutions. Syempre, para mas mahanap ang pinaka-suitable, they make use of itong aptitude tests. The next is selection for jobs. So employers can use aptitude tests for selecting persons for jobs. Next is scholastic aptitude test. So scholastic aptitude tests are helpful in giving educational and vocational guidance to students. So syempre if yung students they don't know which program to pick, they could make use of itong scholastic aptitude test para mahanap nila kung ang pinaka-suitable para sa kanila. So next is the purpose of aptitude tests. So aptitude tests are made by analyzing the particular occupation or activity for which aptitude is to be measured. For example, art aptitude test, clerical aptitude test, manual aptitude test, etc. So in this case po, naghanap rin po ako ng aptitude test that is being used here in the Philippines. So ang nahanap ko po ay the Philippine Aptitude Test Classification Test or yung PACT. So the PACT is an instrument developed by the Center for Educational Measurement Incorporated in response to the need for a comprehensive system of identifying specific abilities of high school students for the purpose of educational and vocational guidance. In a way, this PACT, it helps students, the high school students, determine kung ano yung vocation na pinaka-suitable para sa kanila. So, the main goal, this is the main goal of the PACT. Furthermore, the PACT attempts to predict a student's probable performance in various courses of study. And the PACT is a battery of aptitude tests with multiple choice items which are largely dependent on innate abilities and minimally on academic experience. Yan talaga yung contrast ng achievement tests sa aptitude tests, like what I've stated earlier. So, once again, aptitude tests tend to focus more on informal learning or life experiences. PACT, it adheres more on the innate abilities of the test takers rather than yung academic experience nila. So we come now with the importance of aptitude tests. So aptitude tests can provide information that helps in determining the test takers' learning readiness, individualizing instructions, organizing classroom groups, identifying underachievers, and diagnosing learning problems. So yung pinaka-take dito guys is yung readiness talaga. Pinaka-purpose talaga ng aptitude tests is to measure the probability of success in an activity, but syempre more so sa readiness. And if you could remember yung sinabi ko baga kanina na some would make use of aptitude tests to determine if may learning problems ang isang test taker para ma-discover na to as early as possible and help alleviate yung concern na yun. So this leads us to the question, what do aptitude tests evaluate? So here are the examples of what aptitude tests evaluate. So we have abstract reasoning, spatial visualization, manual dexterity, and numerical aptitude. So yung una po ay yung abstract reasoning. So abstract reasoning is the ability to contextualize information and quickly recognize patterns, a critical metric for individuals that seek to enter management. And next naman po is spatial visualization. So this section evaluates a candidate's ability to manipulate 2 and 3-dimensional shapes cognitively. So next we have manual dexterity. So tests ability to perform manual tasks and micro manual tasks. So from the name itself, manual dexterity, the examiner will see if the test taker is accurate. That's the word that's synonymous with dexterity. If accurate yung mga galaw niya in performing yung manual tasks. So next naman is numerical aptitude. So numerical aptitude is an assessment of the candidate's proficiency at math. And next here are the other stuff that aptitude tests evaluate. Grabe talaga yung yung pagka versatile nitong aptitude tests. So going back to earlier, di ba? Aptitude test is not limited to being a pen and paper kind of tests. Hence itong mga nakasaad, creative skills, literary skills, organizational skills, and of course yung mga na-mention na rin kanina, which is yung abstract reasoning, spatial visualization, and etc. Next naman po, next in line is ito pong creative skills. So aptitude tests that adhere more on determining yung creative skills ng test taker allows it to gauge the test taker's ability at non-divergent thinking. In short, their creativity. So next is the literary skills. So evaluates literary abilities or aspects of their literary capabilities that are efficient or need improvement. So next is organizational skills. So this rates the person's skills in managing multiple dynamic variables. So kasi with regards to organizations, there are really different types of variables that people would encounter. So aptitude tests that adhere to this type of testing will rate the person's skills in managing said dynamic variables. So next naman po is leadership skills. This will determine if the applicant can manage human resources if placed in an executive role. These are the next things that aptitude test evaluate. So as you can see, napakarami talaga. And syempre, it's not only limited to this. As the years go by, mas lalawak ang field and stuff na ma-evaluate ng aptitude tests. Test makers will find ways in order to better update and better improve aptitude tests. With that, we now go with the advantages of aptitude tests. So first in line in the advantages of aptitude test is it negates cultural effects. So candidates might be able to use certain cultural advantages to achieve success in both education and industry. So standardized aptitude tests put all test takers on an equal playing field, or at least they are designed not to have a cultural or socio-economic bias. What this implies is that sabihin natin one test taker may have the resources to afford a proper education, while another test taker may or may not. That might not be the case with other test takers. Yun rin po yung advantage talaga ng aptitude tests, is that it does not rely solely or it does not rely heavily on the academic experience of a person, more so sa life experiences nila. Through this, we can say that it negates cultural effects. Next is objective, efficient comparisons. So many organizations use aptitude testing to help them make better promoting or hiring decisions. So also, aptitude tests allow employers to compare various candidates in a fair manner. So in a fair manner, meaning natatanggal na yung mga aspeto such as yung attractiveness ng test taker or their ethnicity. They're both in an equal playing field. And of course, mas nagiging objective. That's why from the words itself, objective, efficient comparison. Next is standardization. So since many aptitude tests are standardized, it can be assured of reliable and valid results. So if any legal dispute arises about your recruitment practices, you can make use or you can challenge these claims by making use of the test results. At ang isa pa pong advantage is itong training needs assessments. So different people in your organization require different skills to be efficient in their work. For some instance, some people might need to improve their customer care skills, while others might need to improve their time management. So aptitude tests can help establish the training needs of your employees and thus organize an appropriate training program. The last two advantages is it minimizes anxiety and cost effectiveness. So minimizes anxiety. So many people might behave erratically or uncharacteristically when subjected to the pressure of a one-to-one assessment. So this allows applicants to show their true colors without the filter of an interviewer that could compromise or completely change a person's response. So since wala naman magiging interviewer dito and you're just going to answer yung given aptitude test, mas malalesen yung madadanas na nervousness or anxiety ng test taker. And if that's the case, syempre, magiging ayos or stable yung train of thought nila. And if their train of thought is stable, then they will be able to answer the tests more efficiently. So next and last is the cost effectiveness. So most aptitude tests are carried out on computers. So as a result, they are very cost effective and easy to administer. It also expedites the grading process, minimizing the period that a position is left vacant. However, much like any test or any aspect rather in life, kung may advantage, may disadvantage rin. So we come now with the disadvantages of aptitude tests. So first is cultural bias. So our abilities and accomplishments are based on experiences such as our upbringing, home setting, education, and opportunities. So all these will have an impact on the result of the aptitude test. For example, an aptitude test might require proficiency in the English language. So since hindi naman talaga proficient sa lengguaheng English, although it is the universal language, may possibility yung ibang test taker ay hindi magiging proficient. So that's one disadvantage of itong aptitude test. So next naman po is aptitude does not necessarily result in performance. So the fact that someone has an aptitude for something does not necessarily mean that they will perform well. So besides aptitude, there are also other factors that affect performance. So this includes training, motivation, and interest. So yun na nga po yung isang disadvantage rin talaga ng almost all of the tests. Kasi some tests may measure yung kakayahan, the can-do principle of the candidates. But hindi nito na may measure yung will-do na principle or yung kung gagawin ba talaga ng prospects or ng candidates yung dapat gawin nila. Next is test anxiety. Although yun na nga na-mention ko kanina na aptitude tests minimizes itong anxiety that the test takers might feel. Syempre, hindi naman talaga naninegate fully ito. So, test anxiety. So, there is a psychological effect that may negatively affect the performance of candidates known as test anxiety. So, this type of stress can manifest itself psychosomatically in various symptoms. So, it could be increased blood pressure, heart rate, dizziness, chest tightening, and shortness of breath. And syempre, kung makadanas ang test taker ng ganito, maapektuhan talaga yung result ng aptitude tests. Emotional effects can inhibit an individual's ability to perform, which might cost you a viable and valid candidate. So I guess that's it, guys. So that concludes our topic, aptitude testing. So thank you so much for taking your time to watch this, and syempre this would not have been made possible without the references that I've used. So if interesado po kayo sa mga references ng mga ginamit ko, I will flash on screen kung ano-ano yung mga yun. So here.